hear about people making it in real estate all the time, but you've been intimidated. You've psyched yourself out for no reason. This is Red Mike. To be a pro, you need to hear from the pros. And here they are, Damon Williamson and Trey Stewart.
Okay, welcome again to the Red Mike Dallas podcast. Today, I think we could all agree that we have the most favorited housewife with us.
The most famous person we've ever had on this podcast.
the one that we all like the most. Let's say we put it that way.
Yep.
Yes.
You're my favorite.
Welcome, Stephanie Hollman.
I am really likable.
This is very exciting for me because I do a podcast with Stephanie every week called Weekly with BS. We've done it for 5 years now. Wow, what an accomplishment.
Really.
But I've never interviewed you. I've always interviewed with you, or I've interviewed for you.
Yeah, this is
real
Y'all
interesting.
two just sit there talking trash about everything that week.
This is either going to go bad for Damon or Stephanie. I don't know which one yet.
Well,
but
Trey and I have pissed so many people off on our podcast that, here we go.
Yeah, that's exactly
Have we?
That's exactly what's not going to happen today. We're not going to piss many people off, but we'll probably piss off a few.
Just a few.
No, I'll preface this with my wife watches the Real Housewives, all of them, 24/7, big fan. And I've watched some, and I did watch the Dallas. So the Dallas side of things was entertaining. I loved your dynamic with Brandy at the beginning of everything where y'all, what did y'all call it? Jesus juice? That was the first time I've ever heard that term before. We gotta have our Jesus juice at 1 o'clock in the afternoon while we're pushing each other on kids' trikes. I always cracked up at that. And, anyway, so I knew of you, and then I met you through Trey recently, and I told Trey, I said, let's bring Stephanie on, man. She's fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, fun.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So season 1, my husband had done some work on TV shows in the past. Like he did Bully Beatdown with MTV, and then he did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he's done like some TV stuff in the past. So he didn't really remember that show. Do you remember that show? So
Did you ever see it?
No.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Was he on it?
No, he sold it to Mark Burnett. So he conceptualized it with his friends. They had it was called Big Heads Entertainment because he has a really big head. Like, not like he likes himself, but his head's real big. His friend's head was real big too, like size-wise, not like they loved them some them.
Well, they love them some them.
But
I'm
also
sure.
they do love them some them, so it made sense.
Just two big noggets, is all we're saying.
So they had that show, and then they had a movie called Rain with Faye Dunaway and Robert Loggia. So whenever they were looking at doing a show in Dallas, Brandy and I had nothing better to do with our life. So we were auditioning and making an absolute fool of ourselves because we did not think anything would happen. And he told me, even greenlit, there's like a 5% chance this will ever make it on air. So we talked about pooping and farting and like made real big fools of ourselves. And then it did go to air. And I remember the first episode on Twitter, and people were like, I don't know if this is real or if this is like a, Saturday Night Live skit of housewives.
I'm sure it did come across that way.
Yeah, because it was just, they were like, wait, these women are literally talking about poop the whole time. Yes, that was us.
Bully Beatdown, by the way, the premise of it was in essence that they had an MMA guy that was the host.
Yep.
The MMA guy somebody nominated a bully for him to go chat with and challenge him to a fight.
Yes.
And it was like a real, like, cage fight, like real.
Yeah.
What?
They would really box it out.
Yes.
And some of the bullies did it, and some of the bullies didn't. I thought it was so interesting because, like, they really made those bullies a hated person. So everybody's like, oh, we really kicked his ass.
Oh my gosh.
Like, would make money, like, the longer they stayed in, like, per.
That's right.
Whatever. Yes.
Yes.
Was this like a result of Travis's childhood, or what made him think of this?
Maybe. I don't know how Damon thought it, but maybe he was like, I'm going to kick some people's butts. Yeah.
Interesting.
But, it was.
I actually enjoyed it.
It was like a 2-3-year thing.
MTV was such a good channel to watch back then.
Oh, yeah.
They had everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like Robin Big, that was another one at the same time that was going on. That was amazing. But everything that they did was like gold.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Bravo. Bravo does that now. Everything they do is gold.
But
Yeah.
also, like back then, there were, like you really couldn't ruin your life or get canceled. So you could do, right now, if they had like people beating up other people, like it would be probably such a bad thing. But
Yeah, it
back
would
then,
work.
and like you really, it was great.
And I'll tell you, the one episode of The Housewives that really got me that you were in was the one where your husband had basically bought a house without you knowing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He bid it blindly on an auction that was way under list price. I mean, I can't remember the exact price, but it was millions under. And he got it. He's like, oh shit, Stephanie, I bought a house. You're like, what? You did what? And he's like, yeah. You want to go see it or what?
I don't know if you've ever actually told this whole story.
Oh, okay. So Bravo is really good at wanting it to be like as entertaining as possible. Now, by being honest, Travis did get the brunt of a lot of stuff because like he did not care what people thought of him. So he did call me. We were doing an event. I looked at it like a few days before.
Oh, you did?
So I actually did see it, but 2 days before, Bravo wasn't there to capture it because I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people would tell them what was going on in their life. I just never did. I lived my life and told them afterwards.
Yeah.
And so I did see it a few days before, and I wasn't 100% sold because there was a lot I wanted to do, and it was very single person. Like it was a big house, but it was very much for a single.
But this is still when it was like listed. It wasn't an auction yet.
Yeah. It was listed.
Got it.
And then it was going on auction like a few days later. And with these auctions, you have to put like a certain amount of money in for the opportunity to bid. I think it was maybe like $100,000 or something. And Travis put it in. And the realtor was actually our next door neighbor who since died, rest in peace. And she told Travis there are these other two people coming in that were going to be like millions over than what we paid for it. And so he was bidding. I was filming at Kendra Scott down the street. And then he called me and he was like, it's at this price. There's like 2 minutes left. What do you think if I put the bid in? He was like, worst case scenario, we could easily sell it because it's way under than what the lady told us. And I was like, okay, do that, but nothing else. And we ended up getting it.
And his bid was like half of what it was listed for.
Yeah, it was like very... You know, it's so crazy. I feel like a lot of times when people do those luxury auctions,
they lose their
yes.
Oh,
exactly.
Trey and I know this firsthand. There is a guy around the DFW area, and I'm not going to name his name, but he does auctions on houses that are worth $1 million, $2 million, lists them for $200,000.
It's crazy.
So then they have all these people that can't afford it. All these people are like bidding. Oh my God, I'm going to get this $1 million house for $200,000. Of course, it's got a reserve.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting it for under $1 million, you know. But this guy's just like, oh yeah, no, we're just building the database and all this. So it's like and of course they'll come on and then come off and come on and then come off because nobody's getting the reserve.
Yeah.
Because they're pitching it wrong or they're just doing it like it's some value play. It never happens.
Yeah.
There was
y'all are the exclusion.
And well, you won. You were on the good side of the auction.
We won. We got it for a really good price. I didn't love it enough to pay what they were asking. It needed for our family a lot of work. I think if you're like a single person, great house for you, right? Like it was a really cool house, but not for a family. Like there was they had 2 kitchens, but no laundry room. If you have children, you need a laundry room, right? They had like more of a closet laundry room, which I had like in college in my, like small apartment. And they had, what else did they have they really didn't have a pantry.
No.
And like if you have a family, you need a pantry. So there were certain things we had to build into it. And
do you remember who was the builder? Something is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
He built it as like his gay party house.
Yes.
Really?
Like that's
so that was just his fun thing.
Yeah, like that's why there was a pool in the middle, and because he was gay, and he would throw these like brothels at this house, but he wouldn't live there. And then the 3rd car garage was air conditioned, and it has like a closet in it and a bathroom. And he had his boyfriend living in the garage because he didn't want him in the main house.
Yeah, and he could only go like through the garage and in the back of the house. So now we have a hallway that gets to that area. But also he would rent it out. So there's all kinds of things written about the house where the neighbors were getting mad because he would rent it out for weddings, bachelorette parties, like all these venues. And it's not a commercial property, but he was using it to make money. So there was...
Is there an HOA?
Huh?
No.
Is there an HOA?
No, but I think the neighbors were they were smart enough to just have a bunch of mean articles written about it.
Yeah.
And I think eventually he just
give him some bad reviews on his Google page.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But they said that the neighborhood was crazy because he would have events all the time. Like he would just kind of use it more as like a a rental facility for different venues.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. The one thing that house had that I've never seen in my entire life at another house is a pool in the entry.
Yes. And it doesn't have that anymore because you should never have a pool in your entry.
It's like, come on in. And
Well,
get
it's
the
still
pool right
there.
It is. So the weird thing is he sold it to this lady, and she has amazing taste, and he covered it. She uncovered it, put in like 8 dehumidifiers. There's actual 24 karat gold tiles in the pool. So she spent a fortune on it. Then when we bought it, like I can't have my dogs and kids go for a swim every day. So we covered it, but then it's still there. You have to put like something structural in the pool, or I guess it'll pop.
Yeah.
So it's still there if we sell one day and somebody wants to swim, you know.
What does it look like right now if you were to walk into the house and look at it?
Well, there's couches. There's like 2 seating areas there, and then we did
But it's covered
a
with
wood
what?
flooring where the
Okay, so it's over wood.
so we had a wood inlay over where it was.
Got it. So that
You
wood's not rotting or anything with all the...
No, and you can pull it up and spend some money to get the pull back if you really want it.
I don't think anybody really
But
wants
I don't think so. I would,
But it's up
you know.
there.
But she did, like she, like pulled the pool back up. So I'm like, you never know. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Trey would probably
bizarre.
pull it back up and turn it around.
I took a few swims.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think it was heated because I remember having to
No,
go
it
in there
was.
on camera. Was it? Well, they
was.
didn't heat it whenever we had to go in there on camera because it was so cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
y'all actually did an episode where you got in?
So they had Travis push me in, and you know, it would be fine if I didn't know, but obviously they talk about everything
Yeah.
before, and they're like, push her in, and it was,
Travis looks like a real jerk in that episode.
yeah, right? Like, he always got such the fat end of the,
Yeah. I bought this nice house with this pool in the entry, and I'm going to push you in.
yep, and I'm gonna push you in it, yeah, you
Yep.
had no idea, yep.
Okay. So that's an interesting thing. But Trey did tell me that you fully remodeled it, and it's now fantastic, right?
Yes, I mean, I want to remodel it again because I feel like every like 6-7 years, it's good to kind of go in.
Oh, just give it a little
Yeah,
refresh.
like give it a little refresh. I'd like to remodel
that
it
job.
again. But I want to wait a few years because we're fresh out of building in Montana. And I told Travis because I was like, if I do it, I want to do it right and go in and not like, you know, kind of cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first time we did it, I feel like we were just trying to get in. And
Yeah.
there were certain things that.
So you added on, you built the garage, added the guest house. You know what's interesting?
Mhm.
That big house, all that space, and she has 3 bedrooms.
No.
You know why? She doesn't want guests.
We built a guest house. It's like an apartment that has 2 bedrooms, and we were thinking if our family comes in, we'll throw them there. So that way, you know, we're not super annoyed. But you have to realize my father-in-law, God bless him, used to come in and live with us for like months at a time. And at our old house, and I was like, I love your family, but I'm just too old to live with my in-laws. So at this house, I really did keep in mind that I really wanted the minimum amount of people. Like I wanted to
Cut
be uncomfortable
bedrooms.
to stay for more than
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 days.
You're right. You told Travis that if he wants his dad to come, it's going to cost him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to cost you a guest house, pal.
And then, so we did the guest house, and then our friend, we have a almost 6-year-old man living there now. His wife died, and we kind of brought him in, and it worked out perfectly.
Eliminated the guest factor.
So then the guest house, we really can't have guests.
There's no one coming over.
So sad.
Let's talk about this is Trey's topic, which I
Which
think
guy?
is
What is it?
this is a $10 million question
Oh, yeah.
for the houses that are 10 million plus.
Uh-huh.
Trey wants to know, which I'm talking for Trey at this point.
Yeah.
So now I know what Trey wants to do.
Yep.
Which is what in your mind is a must-have in a price point that is 10 plus, because Dallas recently came out with an article that said across the country, Dallas has in the top 5 $10 plus million homes sold in 2022, which is crazy, right? Because we're supposed to be known as affordability in Texas.
Yeah, so as a high maintenance buyer, what is something you look for in a home?
Somebody extremely picky.
So our current home was not 10 million. So if it's not, I would say make sure you have enough budget to really renovate. Like if you're not getting a great deal in a house, for me, kitchens are very important. Like you have to have a great kitchen. Location's important. Like our 2 current homes right now, they both have they're both amazing properties. Like our Montana house is on top of a mountain and has beautiful views. I think our current Dallas house has one of the best backyards. It's on Turtle Creek. I love our backyard. And then I think you have to have a really good closet, a big closet. And then you have to have a great primary bedroom. But if I'm spending $10 million on a house, I want to walk in and love everything about it. Like, I will not spend $10 million and touch a thing.
Yeah, and I agree with that because, you know, it's shocking to me because just like what you already experienced, these houses that are ultra luxury doesn't account for taste at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say everybody who walks in is going to have their own taste and you're going to have your own opinion, of course, but you see some weird shit in these houses. I mean, really things that you're just like where why? You know, it's like they should build for resale, but also build for functionality. But then some people are like, I don't give a damn.
They just kind of build for
I'm just going to build this house the way I want to build it, and who cares? And it costs them a lot of money because those are the kind of houses where they'll sit on the market for a long time, and maybe the facade and the location is fantastic, but then you walk in and just like what you said, if somebody's spending $10 million, the last thing they want to do is probably renovate for another $1 million+, and we see that a lot. I mean, that's actually more common than not. Usually the ones that I think are really well done are the ones that are builders that build the ultra luxury for spec.
Yeah.
Because they know what people want. They built a ton of houses. They hear all the, you know, the ins and the outs of what people are really looking for over and over again. And then they do that and replicate it and put it into the houses. And I don't think that, you know, your house is like one of them that the guy just said, I'm building it because I want to build it for myself.
Yeah.
And didn't care about resale. Then you ended up doing a remodel.
What's the most expensive house you sold?
$9 million.
Oh. Where was that? Highland Park?
No, it was actually in Preston Hollow, and it was right off of Eldon, which is Dallas North Tollway and Walnut Hill, right up the opposite side of Crespi Estates. And I've got, I mean, right now I've got 3 $10 million+ buyers that I've been working with for almost a year. That they're just like, whenever it comes around, we'll pull the trigger. It ain't coming around yet.
You know what house I really like? Your neighbor's house. The one right next door. I keep telling Damon that he should like knock on her door and see if she wants to sell that. That's a really cool house.
Which one? The one that's for sale or the one that...
No, the one right next door to you. That's on like 2 acres.
The one that the people that own the...
That just sold that across the street.
Wait, that house should be for sale like very soon.
It should be for sale. Oh.
Yeah, they're redoing
That's a good one.
That house will be on the market soon, yes. And it's a great property.
You guys are in the Dallas ISD, not the HPISD on that section, right?
No, so we're not in Highland Park. Both of our kids go to private school because they really do go to private school or move.
Yeah.
And then we are in that area. The crazy thing is there's a house in the corner of Avondale and oh my gosh, Trey.
Oak
Blackburn? Or Oak
Black.
Yeah, Blackburn and Avondale, right?
Yeah.
That Travis and I, when we first got married, we lived in. It's the cutest house. I would buy it again if it wasn't so expensive every time it comes on sale. But that's where kind of we had our 2 kids. So we're literally living like around the corner from where like our
I've driven by y'all's house like 100 times, but I never saw it when it was on the market or anything. I just saw what they did on Bravo with it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And Trey told me recently that you bought a rental property from him.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, I had a rental property in Oklahoma. I bought the house and then I met Travis and then 6 months later I was engaged. And so I really never lived in it. And I was lucky enough to have my dad living close by, and my dad's very type A. And he managed, like he mowed their yard for them because he knew they wouldn't do a good job. Like he wanted it. So I had my dad kind of taking care of it, and I had 3 renters. And after the 3rd renter, I was kind of sick of like fixing it up every time it came up for rent. So my cousin moved here from Oklahoma, was looking for a rental property. And there's just not a lot of good rental properties in great locations that aren't an absolute fortune. Like if it's a nice rental property, it's very, very expensive. So I had been looking in Montana for like a VRBO, like some rental property just to have. And then whenever she needed one, I kind of knew her budget. And I was like, I will buy you a house. You can live in it and just rent from me. So it kind of worked out.
Well, what was the situation though that led to you buying the house?
Well, I was going to help her. Okay, I was going to help her because she needed somebody to sign for her, right? And I really love family, but I really, first of all, I don't like having my credit tied with anybody else's.
Yeah.
Like I'm really weird about that. But I was going to do it, and then since I wasn't living there, the guy, who I still am not a fan of, would not let, he would not let me, sign and pay for it if I wasn't living there, even though he knew I was good for it. So I was like, screw you and this, not even nice house, if I'm being honest, if you're listening, sir. I have to buy my own house.
Trust me, he's
yes, he's going to listen. I'm going to buy my own house and she can live there. So it's more of the principle, if you won't, because
She bought a house out of spite, is what she's saying.
I really did. So I called Trade. I was like, I'm just going to buy a house. This is what I'm looking for. This is how much I want to spend. And then I think I ended up spending a little bit more than I wanted to spend because I realized that you really can't get what you're looking for at the price whenever I would pull up into these really nice new homes in the most horrible of neighborhoods. Yes.
That's really the issue for rental properties in general. The price points don't really justify the rents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and it's hard to find good properties in great neighborhoods because if you're not doing a private school or you're not in Highland Park, you want to be in a good school district when you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard for her to find something that wasn't.
Which city did y'all land in?
So we ended up in Grapevine.
But it's in Carroll ISD, though.
Yeah.
Carroll ISD is fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So her kids are in a
South
great
Lake
school. So
Yeah.
it worked out. Yeah. And it's a
Mhm.
cute house. I tried to buy something that I would live in because if I wouldn't live in it, I'm not going to have somebody else live in it. Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a good
You're a
mindset.
good landlord.
Yeah.
You're like, look at this
such
piece
a
of crap.
great
I'm going to buy a piece of junk for you, but I'd never live in it.
Yeah, but it was kind of like the same thing. I told Trey, I was like, I don't want something I have to go in and redo because I'm not a handyman. And so it was
I thought if-
redone and perfect. No, and nor's my husband. My husband, God bless his soul, he is not a handyman either.
he's good at one thing, though.
Yeah, he's a good delegator.
Lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Travis jokes that when he dies, the first thing she needs to do is sell the house because she would just let all the light bulbs burn out.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
It's true. It happens. I mean, the amount of times I've walked into a house that's been neglected because somebody has either gotten divorced or passed away or something, and you have a single living in there, usually a woman.
Yeah. Everything goes.
Everything's gone south.
Oh, yeah. No, whenever we did our will 3 years ago for the kids, and it was pretty much Travis doing everything and then me just having to sign. He wrote 2 letters, one to the kids whenever he dies to be open, and then one to me. And the one to the kids is pretty much maintain a good relationship. I want you guys to travel, go somewhere every year on vacation. And it's all about them maintaining a relationship. My letter that he wrote to me is, sell the house, you can't afford it, don't be stupid. 100%. Yes.
And never marry again.
Yeah, and never be miserable, be lonely, yeah, all the things.
Okay, so let's talk about Montana because this is your new favorite thing. So why Montana, not Aspen?
Okay, so we looked at Aspen for a few years. First of all, I love Texas, but everybody from Dallas goes to Aspen, right? If you go to Aspen, you're kind of seeing the same people. Well, my husband's family started, his sister is a big realtor in LA, and she bought a place on the lake in Montana. She was like, you guys should look at Whitefish. It kind of has everything. It has a lake, mountains, everything. So then we were like, okay, well, we'd never been to Whitefish, Montana before. Then his other sister bought a property in town. So we were working with a realtor, but thinking we would find something and then fly there and look at it and then buy. And we were like, we want to be on the mountain, but we want a great piece of property with good views. And the realtor called and he was like, I have this really special piece of property that there's 2, if you've been to Whitefish, Montana, there are 2 places to stay there, hotels. And the people that own the hotels had this property as a family, and they started fighting about what to build there. And instead of continuing fighting, the guy was like, screw it, I'm selling it. So this piece of property came up, and the guy was like, it's going to be gone by tomorrow. So we went ahead and bought it. Never been to Montana, never been to Whitefish.
Stephanie negotiated the deal herself.
I negotiated myself.
The land of Montana.
Yes.
So it was just land.
It was just land.
Yeah.
It was just land. So I negotiated. Travis and I were like, perfect, we'll build something. Because also, Montana's very rustic, and I wanted something a little bit more mountain modern and not so log home style. So I negotiated Travis, because Travis was traveling, And then we bought the property. And then I was like, oh my God, what if this is a horrible property? And we had spent like over $1 million on a piece of land that we hate. So then we flew there, never been to the town. Thankfully, the town was great. The property was amazing. But yeah, brought a property, sight unseen, town unseen.
So what you're saying is y'all have a habit of buying really expensive things without seeing them first.
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah.
It's an ideal buyer.
Yep.
Exactly. Like I think we're those people that if we decide we want something, we don't really, like we just kind of, we're impulsive, I guess, once we make the decision.
So what did the you built a house on it and it's done now, right?
Yes.
They moved in like last week.
The exterior they're still working on. Montana's also very slow, so we kind of realized, and we told our neighbors this to help them out so they could too move in one day, is they were going really slow because people that live there, live there for more of the lifestyle, not so much the work ethic.
They're on mountain time.
Yeah, they're like totally mountain time is a thing. So we told them, listen, we're going to be in for Christmas. All of our family bought our plane tickets, so either like have this house ready for us or just rent us like a really, really nice place and you can pay for it because you didn't get our house done in time. So anyways, they really worked hard and got it done. And I feel like if we did not tell them that, we would still be quite a ways from being done.
All right. What's the specs? How big is it?
It's about 10,000 square feet.
It's a quaint little log cabin on a mountain.
Yeah. It's very quaint. We kind of did opposite of this house. The house we're living in now is more like, I don't really want to entertain. Like, I just want to live here with my family and I love y'all, but go stay at somewhere else. But that house was all about like sharing it with our friends and family and more. I'm thinking, our kids will inherit it. I want to have grandkids. So it's a very much an entertaining house. So there's, like 4 bedrooms with bathrooms. I would say 2 primary rooms, like 2 rooms that are on the main floor. They both have bath. I like a bath. That's another thing about if you're going to spend $10 million on a house, you better have a bathtub or 2, right? Like I cannot stand it when people in houses don't have bathtubs.
I agree.
You have to have that.
That shower thing came in too quick and too excited with everybody.
Yes.
Just give me a big shower, no bathtub.
Yeah. So we have.
Now they're back.
So you have to have 2 bathtubs. So both of those rooms have bathtubs. And then we have a bunk room that has 6 beds in it. So it sleeps comfortably, probably 10 people. Like obviously some of those are kids. Like I enlist, your tray and you invite friends over and then throw them in the bunk room. Yeah. But comfortably it would fit like 4 couples. And
we're supposed to travel out there and sleep in it, I think with Trey like next week or something.
Yeah.
They're like, wasn't there 10 of us, Trey?
Yeah, right? And I'm planning a birthday trip out there, and I'm doubling them up in the twin beds.
Yes. No, it's fantastic. And we had our kids put a lot of thought into it as well because it's, so we were like, what do you want? They wanted like every kid, they want like one of those rooms that looks like a bookcase. You walk in and then it's a room. So their room will be that eventually, like a little bookcase. And then they wanted like a secret slide. We tried to do that. It was a little too tight. So we have like a 3-story climbing wall inside the house that's in a hidden area. So it's very like kid friendly.
Yeah. How close is it to town?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's on top of the mountain, so it's probably about 8 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
So not bad at all. Huh?
Well, I can answer Trey's question almost then. Trey's question was why Montana over Aspen?
I mean, I know that question. I was just throwing that in there for you guys.
So if you built a $10 million house in Aspen, you'd probably be paying $10 million.
Oh.
At least.
Oh, we're in almost $10 million.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But there, it's
I was thinking, hey, give it $300-$400 a foot. Not too bad.
Oh, no. It's very, Montana's pretty expensive. I mean, I would say.
Yeah, she is a $10 million buyer.
Yeah, no. The realtor there said for our property, it's probably between $15 to $20 million.
That's what it's worth now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sell it.
So, you have to wait. It's so amazing. If Travis would probably sell it, I hope we don't. Like, I like it so much more here. I feel like when I was there, I kind of I wasn't really stressed out. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to do this, so I need to call these people. Like, it's such a different vibe in Dallas. Definitely probably more my style than even Travis's, but it's amazing. It's amazing.
A lot of people don't like the building or the renovation process, but I feel like you've been in that. I mean, since you did Turtle Creek and then you went kind of into this one.
I don't like the building process, but like it's hard to find what you want if you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like
you also have you heard of Pause Up out there in Montana? Paws Up is a ultra luxury, like, I don't even know how to describe it, a cabin type resort. They bring in like 5-star chefs for the month, and like the top chef winners will come out there and like do a month there. But how they do it is they take, they built all these like luxury style cabins, and they're maybe like 1,500 square feet or whatever. And then you rent them for a week. But the other thing is that they do, it's like all inclusive for meals and then activities. Like during the winter, you can go snowmobiling and horseback riding and all this other stuff. And so we did it 10 years ago when the boys were young. And we did it during Christmas week. And then we did it consistently like every year for like 3 years in a row, because that Christmas week, they decorate the cabins. They have Santa come to the door. They knock on it. They hand the kids presents. It's a really cool experience. And back then it was affordable. I call it affordable. It was still like, I think for the week, it may have been like, $5,000 or $6,000 to stay there for the cabin for the week. They want $5,000 at night now.
Oh,
I mean, it's crazy. It's gotten to the point where you're going to spend $20,000 for a week there.
those people in Montana are just stacking cash.
Yeah, they are. Right now,
Good grief.
They have, for that little small town, they have a lot. Yeah, there's like a few billionaires that live there. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They
Any
have a
famous
lot of-
people?
Huh?
Any famous people?
I don't know. I heard one of our neighbors was like played football or something like NFL. I don't know who he is.
I
I've
wouldn't know
never
who that
met him.
is.
Travis met him. He said he's like 6'4" and real attractive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Travis said he's very
He
attractive.
was like, he's a good-looking dude. Yeah, he was like, he's very good-looking.
You're going to
guy,
be
yeah.
that. You're going to be that widow with a $10 million house next door.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Huh.
even that one.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting place, but I do think it's gotten a little bit more popular than whenever we first bought it. Like there's a lot of people.
How long did it take to build?
Like, oh my gosh, 2.5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it would not take 2.5 years in Dallas, but
They probably had to bring in all the
Until-
material on horse and buggy.
until you're and until you're snowed in, like until you have everything closed in this winter, you're
Done
just
for like
at a
6
stop.
months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like our first winter, we had, like the wall, you have to have a roof on or you're just stopped because it's so cold there and it's on top of the mountain. So it's snowing nonstop.
Damon, one of the things that surprised me about you is how on the pulse you are with pop culture and housewives.
Am I?
So I want to test your housewives knowledge while we have a housewife here. And I'm going to have Stephanie read a set of taglines
Yes.
in her tagline voice and see if you can guess, of the 3 taglines, which one was one of hers.
Okay, it was hers versus somebody else.
So
Got it.
there's 3 taglines.
Uh-huh.
One of them's hers, 2 of them are not.
Okay.
Okay? Stephanie, number 1.
Okay. When you take, hold on. When you take a shot, always expect a hangover. Okay, that's number 1. Don't mess with the boss because you're going to, wait, this is so obviously, what in the world?
That's definitely one of
Don't,
those you
this
said.
is definitely not mine, I'll tell you that much. Don't mess with the boss because you're going to get fired. I'm the girl next door if you live in a big old mansion.
I think it's the third one.
Yep, that is my
Ding, ding, ding.
season 1 tagline. And my favorite out of all of them.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was
I don't think you would have said if you take a shot you're gonna have a hangover. That sounds like somebody that has not drank much alcohol.
No,
And with your Jesus juice, I decided that wasn't you.
no, that was Lisa Barlow. Number 2 is Candy Burris. Also, like, don't mess with the boss because you're gonna get fired. Trey, did you pick these out? Because you know,
Yep,
like,
sure did.
not a boss.
All right, next set.
He's not a boss.
Okay, the only thing messier than 2 boys is me. Okay, and number 2.
That sounds like Brandy. Doesn't she have 2 boys?
Nope,
no.
Okay, then.
it's just 2
Go
girls.
see Steph.
Well, it's just 3 girls now.
I married into money, but family is my fortune.
Nope.
Number 3, if you come for me, I will send Jesus after you.
That's a close one. It's either 1 or 3.
Wait, read them again?
Okay, number
First
1.
one is though you have 2 boys though, don't you?
Yep.
Okay,
what I
number
thought.
1, the only thing messier than 2 boys is me. Number 2, I married into money, but family is my fortune.
I know that's not it.
Number 3, if you come for me, I will send Jesus after you.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna go with number 1 because of the messy boys, but you could have said Jesus.
No, number 2, I married into money, but family is my fortune.
That was you?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know Travis
And it was really not my favorite tagline.
So was that one of the ones where you would like start the episode and it would be like you doing a quick little twirl?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the one they had for me that year that I really wanted them to use is, what was it? Something about my boobs may be fake, but I'm the real deal or something stupid. And I just like that they were talking about my fake boobs. I was like, yes, that one.
You know why I didn't think that 2 was right? Because most of the time when people say they married into money, they made a sacrifice on who they married. I don't think there was a sacrifice with you and Travis. He's a nice guy.
Oh, no,
Good-looking dude.
the tagline I wanted that year was, my boobs may be fake, but my struggle is real. That's the one. That was it. Actually, I loved it. I was like, it is so bad. I love it. Yes.
All right, what's the third one?
Okay. Number 3. Okay, investing in drama is not in my budget. It's number 1. My faith is strong, but my ass isn't bad either. It's number 2. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. It's number 3.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The third one could be applied to like every woman on the planet.
That's going to be my new email tag. Like, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. Trey.
I don't know.
All right, read them one more time.
Okay. Investing in drama is not in my budget. My faith is strong, but my ass isn't bad either. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong.
You do have a good ass.
Shut up. Thanks, Trey.
That's the blurb of the episode. I don't know. 2. Let's go with the ass.
No. Thank you, though, for that.
For the confidence boost.
I thought Trey was trying to give me a hint on that one.
No, investing in drama is not in my
Okay, and I like that one, so that would have been my one without Trey's input. Damn it, Trey.
See, Trey likes to trick you. Okay, so I'll tell you, as somebody who did the show, and a lot of people don't know this, if a new housewife show comes out, and you know their taglines come out before the show comes out, their taglines will tell you a lot about their season. So, for example, I really didn't have a lot going on, so I was for the girl that lives in a big old mansion.
They wanted more drama out of you, but you were like, I don't have much this season.
But I think the Married into Money But Family is My Fortune is when my father-in-law was not doing well. So they'll tell you a lot. It'll tell you a lot about the person's storyline.
Got it.
With their taglines. So, yes.
And so, one last question before we wrap. Is there any potential of Dallas Housewives being renewed?
I hope not anytime soon. If it is, I
You've
really
heard nothing.
You know, and I hope it's like, if it does, I hope it's like Miami and it's 10 years down the road.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was like a 10-year time.
Wow. They took a gap and then restarted that long.
Yeah.
Golly.
But I don't know. I think a lot of girls on our show would love for it to come back. God bless their soul. I'm not one of them because
it's a very demanding thing, isn't it?
It's super demanding. Well, and right now I have a 12 and 14-year-old, and my kids are, you know, like, in I think very important stages, like chances into girls, chances, you know, and that's, I think, a time where your mom really needs to be there for you.
Yeah.
So personally, I love not doing it right now, and I think the Lord gives you what you need at the right time. And when they were younger, it was fun. They could do it. They're not going to get made fun of at school. Now, I think it would be very different. I think it would affect them a lot. And I don't really feel like it affected them in a negative way. But I also didn't have them on a lot compared to a lot of other housewives. Like that was one thing that I'm the proudest of, is I sold my soul and my husband's, but I never sold my children. Like, that was always, if they filmed, it was they wanted to do it. They got paid.
Yeah.
I gave them a day rate.
Yeah, they got smart at the end and they started demanding money.
Yeah. So
That's a good idea.
There was like a certain
Yeah, my
amount
sons
that
would be like, I want to be on all the time.
right? And
Take that
we
day rate.
made it to where it was like enjoyable for them. And honestly, I'm making a paycheck, so why shouldn't they make something for their time? But my kids never loved being on camera, and I never forced it. And I think a lot of kids can grow up having a lot of problems because they were kind of thrown in the spotlight without really having a say.
Great episode. Thanks for coming on, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Give us your Instagram.
Oh, Steph Hollman. That's
That's it. She quit Twitter. She's on Threads.
I'm not on Twitter or X. Is it called X?
Are you still holding out on Threads?
I'm on Threads. I said something like day 3 of Threads being there, and then I was like, I hate Twitter. Why am I on Threads? So you can follow me, but don't expect much on Grits.
I don't think it went as planned.
Don't expect anything.
All right, Trey, what's yours?
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart.
We are the agency.dallas on Instagram. And you've been listening to the Red Mic Podcast. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
This has been the Red Mic, the weekly podcast where real estate meets reality. On this show, you'll get all the tools and hear from all the pros to set you up for successful real estate ventures. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we hope you've gotten something from it. Make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, you can find us at theagency.dallas, at Realtor Damon, and at Trey_Stewart. Catch you next time on the Red Mic.